It's Monday, November 4th, first Monday of November. Big weekend for the Massa Edge members. 4-2 yesterday. 9-3 run since Thursday. We caught the winner in the football game. We went under on Thursday night. That was the Jet Houston game. Friday, big night. Saturday, 3-unit winner with the Golden State Warriors. And again, as I said, 4-2 yesterday. So we finish up the week real strong. NBA heating up. 2 big 3-unit bets today. We'll go through them. And we'll give you guys those games. I don't mind giving you guys those games. But you need to become a Massa Edge member. Both games, I bet, have moved at least 2 points since we sent that out yesterday. And you can ask my members right on here. Most transparent guy in the business. And maybe the best hair, by the way. Just a little frizzy today. Didn't get a chance to do it. So busy this weekend, guys. You got NBA, NFL, college football. Best time to become a member right now. We'll give some guys a chance to get in here. In the meantime, I see Nick Easy. Some guys sent me some messages, so I know we're working here. Still trying to get a hang of this thing. E-Cloud, Chargers looked good yesterday. E-Cloud, we had the Chargers, my man. Hey, look, it was going to take more than one game from a journeyman quarterback like Jameis Winston to prove that Cleveland's back. Chargers are a solid team. We caught that game perfect. We had Chargers and went with the under. Little humid in Florida, John. Actually, I'm still up north. I'm in Connecticut, not back down in Florida yet. Going to stay up here another couple of weeks. Enjoy the grandchildren a little bit. Then when it gets too fucking cold, then I will get back down to Florida and warm up. What else we got here? I see my man Billy. How's it going, guys? Give it a couple of minutes more, guys. We got 43 in here. Want to get at least 100 in here today. And then we'll go through the card. NBA today, a little big schedule. Election day tomorrow. Go vote for Trump. Election day tomorrow. No NBA. I've got a rare off day tomorrow. No NBA. Obviously no football. But so we're all packed into a huge day today. What I will use tomorrow, I will come live at our regular time, 11 o'clock. And I'm going to go over the entire college slate for the weekend. So while we have no NFL and stuff, I'm always working anyway. So we'll be here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Have your questions ready for tomorrow's football. Notifications work. Feed is good. I just figured out the chat today. That's all good, my man. That's all good. I'm still figuring shit out. X is it's new territory for me. Was used to that garbage Instagram platform, but they'll never get. Imagine having the sharpest, the best handicapper, NBA handicapper in the world, going live on your platform for fucking free and not exposing him, not getting him out there. That's what I am. For the guys that don't know, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to make you wait so we go over the games. But once again, sent out 2 games yesterday. Remember, DraftKings opens, BetOnline, they open the day before. I'm ready to beat the fucking pants off them, whether it's NFL, college football's going on. I'm ready. They made 2 mistakes in the line. I pounced on it. Each game has moved at least 2 points. And that's the difference between me and all the fucking scamdy cappers that you see out there. They don't know what they're doing. They're waiting for guys like me to move the line so that they can see what the hot side is. They don't know what the hot side is themselves. All right, let's see if we can at least break 50 before I start going over the card. Some great football yesterday. Detroit looks unbeatable. They just keep getting better and better. And we've got the other team that is unbeaten right now, and that's Kansas City Chiefs. How many more can they win? It's now 13 in a row. Obviously, this dates back to last year, including playoffs. and the Super Bowl. So 13 in a row for the Chiefs, 10-2-1 against the spread. And you're like, hey, just bet the Chiefs. But this is going to be only the second time this year that they're more than a 7-point favorite. When was the last time? Last week. Big favorite at the Raiders. They only win by 7, so it's a no cover. Tampa Bay, now they've had some time to work out without the two wide receivers. Remember, a few weeks back, Monday Night Football, Baltimore Raven game, they lose both Evans and Godwin. Well, they got to come back on a short week, lose to the Falcons, still score 26 points. Look, Tampa Bay, number 3 in the league, 29.4 points per game. But Chiefs, number 3, and allowing, I believe, 17.4 points per game. 9 points is a big number, guys. We just had somebody who said it, Mo Money, Tampa Bay backdoor. Man, you could just feel it. You could just feel that Mayfield will keep them in the game. Mahomes, Chiefs, they kind of always play it tight when you think they should be able to beat up a team. 9 points, I think, just enough with a team that can score. Like I said, Mayfield now with a second week without the top 2 receivers. He'll figure a way to get some other guys in. Gotta like the +9. Mahomes, look, KC's winning with Mahomes having a subpar year. They're doing it with defense, and as I said, 3rd, allowing just 17.4 points per game. But 9 points, you got to beat me by double digits. I think Tampa Bay comes with a game. KC playing great ball. When do they slip up? And it doesn't even have to be a slip up to lose outright, but just to have one of those close games. I think that might be tonight. Again, I took 9 points we sent out to the members this morning. NBA, it's a huge schedule, as I said, because there's no NBA tomorrow. And the top game is Milwaukee-Cleveland. Cleveland Cavs stay unbeaten with a buzzer beater, Mitchell, against the Bucks the other night. This was one of those home-and-home series. And if you guys are seeing, excuse me, guys, if you're seeing the number 7, you're like, wow, let's jump all over the Bucks. The reason the number is 7 is because they're listing Giannis as questionable. Look, if Giannis plays at 7, it's a no-brainer. Brandon Nesbitt, my Cavs are nobody. Brandon, for you guys that don't know, coming over from Instagram, he's a Cleveland guy. I love Brandon, but he's a homer. I'm sure it's the Browns, it's the Cavs, it's the Guardians. So Brandon's always going to be on his home team, and hey, I don't blame him. Cavs, all they've done is win every game and cover every game. Before the last game for Milwaukee had dropped 5 straight by double digits. This Milwaukee team just not performing up to stuff. Well, they come up with a game, just wasn't good enough to beat the Cavs. But in these home and homes, when these teams face each other twice in a row, tough to sweep the set. We'll be looking for Giannis. Questionable is LeVert for the Cavs. He missed the last game. So we'll be looking for Giannis in this one, guys. Bucks are nobody in this one. Again, almost kind of the same feel with the Chiefs. Cavs have actually moved into my number 2 spot in the East, above the Knicks, the way they've been playing. So I love the Cavs. Just think it's a spot. Milwaukee's got to come with a game. They need a game. They got to get out of this. They almost had one. I think they stay within the number, even if the Cavs don't lose. I don't think they cover the number with Giannis in. Obviously, Giannis out. It's a whole nother question. So, guys, especially Mass Edge members, look for that injury. Look, we played an injury game yesterday. Injuries are huge in the NBA, especially when they're in clusters. So I want to explain that in a minute. So yesterday, we were waiting on the Zion Williamson injury info for the Pelicans. Now, yes, you could have took 2.5 with the Hawks, but I want to know that Zion's out. If he's out, I don't give a fuck. So a lot of guys ask me, what's a player worth to the line? So some players, what are they worth at a different spot? In this spot yesterday, because the Pelicans are already down, McCollum, DeJounte Murray from the game 1, Herbert Jones, Trey Murphy. So they're down to all these guys, and now throw Zion out. This is 5 of their top 6 rotation plays that should have been. It's not even a team. Sometimes it's what we call close your eyes and make the bet. That's what we did yesterday. We took the Hawks. Giannis is huge. Giannis is one of the biggest reflections to the line in the NBA. He's worth a good 5 points in this spot. So you want to have him in there. My man Brad says it's the Indians, Cavs, and Bengals, not Browns. How the hell could that possibly be, Brandon? Your Bengals got back on the winning track yesterday, albeit against a Raider team. They're a disaster, that Raider team. Give me one sec, man. Okay. So many injuries so early in the season, says Aaron Hutchinson. This is welcome to the NBA. Look, it's injuries are part of the game, guys. If you guys go by my ratings, Mass Edge members, go by my ratings. You'll see these numbers are right there. The only thing that's going to differentiate them is going to be the injuries. And that's what we're dealing with in that top game. Second game, more injuries. Golden State out wash. So you've got Curry, who's missed the last few games. Now, we bet the Warriors without Curry on Saturday night. Man, was I ready to put my fist through a wall. So we've got a 30-point lead, taking 6 with the Warriors, and had to sweat out overtime. But the Warriors do win it. We had Golden State without Curry. He's questionable now. He's missed the last 3 games. Missed the 2 games in Golden State against the Pelicans. He missed the game against Houston. Does he get back today? We're waiting to hear word. What we do know is Kuzma will miss another game for Washington. Washington coming back from Mexico. They went all the way to Mexico to get their ass kicked by the Heat. Kuzma did not accompany them on the trip, so I'm going to push him a little more towards doubtful. We'll wait to see if those guys come back. Last 2 years, Golden State has won all 4 meetings. Coincidentally, last year, won both games. One at Washington, one at Golden State, both by 11. The year before, at Washington and at Golden State, both games by 9. 4-0 against the spread, and they've won all 4 games. Kind of had their number. But, after the day off Tuesday, they go to Boston. So maybe one eye looking at the Celtics, and maybe if you're Warriors, you feel, hey, we could beat the Wizards at Washington without Steph. So that's another injury game we'll be keeping our eyes on. Earth to God, Steelers Commanders going to be a gem. 2 of the oldest franchises in the league. Not going to do football right now, my man, except for tonight's game. But check back tomorrow, Earth to God. Another one of my great guys from Instagram. We'll do not only college tomorrow, we'll touch on the NFL. Game 3 on the schedule tonight, Lakers Pistons. Lakers now, this is the 4th game in 8 days of this road trip. They won the last game at Toronto, lost the first 2 of the trip. So now they come into Detroit. Again, here's a team that they beat. Now, it's kind of everybody's been beating Detroit. If you guys remember, a couple of, maybe last week, we put up Philly had beaten them. It was 13 times in a row with Philly. Yesterday it was the Nets had beaten them 8 of the last 9. Well, now it's the Lakers. They've won the last 7 meetings and have covered the last 4. They won both games last year by a combined 40 points. Okay, this is a different Detroit team. I bet against them yesterday. This was our one loser in the NBA yesterday. Detroit showed up yesterday. Spread out the scoring. I think it was 6 guys with 15 points or better. They're going to keep, I told you they're going to keep getting better. I like the spot for the Nets. I thought the Nets were playing good basketball also. Detroit's going to continue to get better. I could see this team climbing. Maybe even knocking on the door at the play-in if teams like the Hawks and Toronto punt and want to trade away some stuff. Maybe they sneak in the back door. We'll see. But they played a real good game yesterday. Can they come back-to-back with a good game? Lakers have been off 2 days. D'Lo questionable. for the Lakers. I make this game just a little bit higher than it is, but not enough that I want them to go make a bet against Detroit, even though they're in the back-to-back. Again, Detroit back-to-back. It's not one of the, on Sundays, always remember, you get teams playing in the daytime, and that's what Detroit did in an early game. So it's not like they get back into town 1, 2, 3 in the morning. They get back in early enough. Shouldn't be too taxing on them. A pretty easy game in the fourth quarter, even though Nets had a 7-point halftime lead. So, again, nothing much there for me. Boston, Atlanta, yes, another game. Yes, another injury. Brown, he'll miss his second straight game for the Celtics. Atlanta, they're on a back-to-back. DeAndre Hunter, he's missed the last few games. We'll see if he comes back today. Again, as I told you, I had the Hawks yesterday. Daniels came back in the lineup, gave them a little lift. Johnson had a monster game. Trae Young, you just knew they had more firepower than the Pelicans could. What do they have left as they come back for Boston? It's going to be sick, guys. We're just monitoring some lines. Okanagan missed last night. He splits the center time with Capella. I think that was more of a rest. Expect to see him today. Again, game deserves to be double digits. That's what it is. Boston having a couple of easy games, a 2-game set at Charlotte, winning those games by double digits, and now they'll be a double-digit favorite here at Atlanta. Memphis, Brooklyn, a little revenge spot, home revenge here for Grizzlies. It was just last week that Brooklyn went into Memphis and beat them. Now you got Brooklyn on a back-to-back. You can almost guarantee that Ben Simmons will sit out, second of a back-to-back for the Nets. They sat him the last time they had a back-to-back in the first game. They let him play yesterday. I would expect him to sit. Grizzlies, look, they're beat up. Remember, no Smart, no Brooks. They're still missing guys. But Triple J and Ja Morant, they can do just about enough. With the day off, I don't make it quite this high, even with Simmons out, and that game has ticked down. The opening number was 6, and it's 4.5 or 5 right now. Just because of the home revenge, just didn't want to jump on the Nets. You already know, like I said, Simmons is sitting out. Who knows who else in a back-to-back? One of the games I bet, if you're still with me, Sacramento Kings, and we gave this out yesterday at +2.5. Guys, if you look now, that game's a pick. It's a 2.5-point beat on the number. This is what I guarantee you. You've got a bunch of frauds out there. I call them the scam decappers. They tell you they're the best, and they run shit. And they get the fuck out of here. There's one guy that's the best handicapper. That's me, John Massa, the Massa Edge. I don't guarantee you a win in every game. Nobody can. Here's what I guarantee you. I will punish DraftKings and BetOnline every fucking day. We're going to beat the line every day. And we did it again yesterday with the 2 games for today. Sacramento +2.5. That line is down to pick 'em. That's a 3-unit bet. We cashed our 3-unit bet with the Warriors on Saturday. Intend on cashing this one too. Look, Sacramento's dropped 5 straight in Miami. Remember, when the West Coast and East Coast teams play, they play once a year. So that's 5 straight years with a loss at Miami. But in the last 50 games for both teams, so the last 50 games for the Sacramento Kings on the road, they are 28, 21, and 1 against the spread. While Miami Heat at home, 18 and 32, their last 50 games at home against the spread. Miami, my rating for Miami is actually better on the road than it is at home. And Sacramento just barely better at home than on the road. And that's what the difference, what my numbers were than the numbers that they put up. They got it wrong. Not because I said so, but because every sharp guy in the world has buried this game and it's gone this way. Can the Heat win? Of course they could win. They could win by double digits. We've already got the best of the number, and that's all I can guarantee you. And I guarantee you that every game, every day. Look, a line could go against us here or there. An injury pops up against us. It's going to happen over the course of a season. 90% of the times we're going to bury the fucking line. And that's what's worth the money here, guys. So that's our first 3-unit bet of the day. And again, if you guys feel like, well, fuck, why would I join the Master Edge? I just watched X and get the line. Well, I beat the line 2.5 points already. Every half point increases your chances of winning. Excuse me for the allergies. We're still dealing with that shit up here. Anyway, next game, Utah Bulls. Hey, what do you know? More injury questions. And Utah's just bad. They fooled me. I thought they were going to be a better team than this. Clarkson now, he's going to be out for a while. Markkanen, their star, he's missed the last couple of games. Markkanen questionable. We'll see if he gets back today. For Chicago, LaVine, they're going to call him questionable again. Now, they did this Friday night at Brooklyn, but he did wind up playing. We'll see if he plays tonight. Bulls are off 2 days. Bulls, they've won the last 4 meetings, 2 last year. Remember, East-West play twice a year, home and away. And the last 3 times that Utah's come to Chicago, they've lost all 3 by a combined 33 points. So this is Bulls or nobody. But again, you want to see where the injuries are. LaVine out, Markkanen in. You don't want to have nothing to do with that game. But they're bad. The Bulls are the Jazz are a bad team. And again, you're already without 2 of your top players, Markkanen. And remember, they lost to Kid Hendricks, the power forward. He's gone for the year due to injury. Here's your second bet of the day, and it's Knicks at Houston. And I sent this game out at +4. And hey, what do you know? Take a look, and the line is 2. It's another 2-point beat. Imagine having a basket going for you every fucking game. You can't help but win. And that's the bottom line here. John, why did you bet Houston when the Knicks have won 8 of the last 9 meetings? They have. But the last meeting was at Houston. Houston win 105-103. This is a different Houston team now coming up on the upswing. I feel this will be another close one. Knicks, third road game in 6 days. They won the first 2 of this trip. Hey, look, we were all over the Knicks. Friday night, they absolutely buried the Pistons, and we were against Houston Saturday night when they lost to the Warriors. What happened here as the line makers have over-adjusted. I knew the Knicks were going to beat a Detroit team that they've absolutely owned. Yes, they buried them, so we put them up a little bit, not overrate them, and that's what they did. They overrated them to come up with just too high of a number. This game did not belong there, even though the Knicks, even if we call it an ownership, but I feel they've turned it around a little bit. Payne is going to miss today. You say, no big deal. Well, the Knicks are only running an 8-man rotation, okay? Precious Achiuwa, Mitchell Robinson, both guys out. Knicks running an 8-man. You know Thibs. Thibodeau will fucking run guys out there 40 minutes a game. Payne has been giving him 15 solid minutes off the bench. He handles the ball. He's a veteran. Now you're down to a 7-man rotation. Those minutes add up when you're on a road trip. Just kind of like Houston coming off the tough loss against the Knicks, getting points as a home dog. Houston, one of the bigger home road differentials. Orlando Magic has the biggest, but one of the bigger home road differentials. Houston, they play good ball at home. What do we got here? We got the Warriors going down to 9. That tells me they're about to announce Steph Curry out. As I said, that's what I would figure. Give him an extra couple of days to get right, and they're looking ahead to the Boston Celtics. Just watching. Now they get some spots bouncing to 9, some to 10, and now some to 10.5. This game is all over the place. Let's see what we got here. Bet Online went one way. I wonder if they sent out a phony on that one. We'll see. Let's get back to the rest of the card. Those are my 2 3-unit NBA bets, guys. That was Sacramento Kings +2.5, Houston Rockets +4, 2 bets, 3 units each. We'll keep an eye on this Golden State game. Charlotte at Mini. What's the story? Injuries. Here was a spot. I had Charlotte circled in this spot. They've won 4 of their last 5 trips to Minnesota, covering the last 5. These allergies absolutely killing me. Covering the last 5. Minnesota should have been coming off a road win at San Antonio, but they're not. They're coming off a loss. So that's what stopped me from wanting to jump on Charlotte. Plus Miller, who came back in the last game, was a little rusty. He's going to be questionable. And Richards, the center, he's going to miss today also. For Minnesota, Gobert, he's questionable. Again, it's all about the injuries, guys, but I just don't make the Timberwolves a 10-point favorite right now. They still haven't put it all together, and if Gobert is out, no way can I make it. LaMelo Ball playing some real good basketball right now, lighting it up. Orlando Magic at OKC and losing Banchero has just ripped the heart out of this team. This was a solid team, but they're getting absolutely buried without Banchero. Last couple of games, they fought back to make it kind of close towards the number with the Cavs, but they were already buried in that game. And Dallas absolutely killed them yesterday. Kind of kicking my ass. That's a game I should have been on, Dallas. Just so much going on. Did that extra half a point. I wanted to lay 6. Sometimes I got to fucking just lay it. But anyway, now Orlando has got to come to OKC, the second best team in the NBA. They're back-to-back, 4th and 6th, 3 straight losses. Yesterday was abusive. They've lost their last 3 trips to OKC by 36 points. Pretty much an average of 12 points a game, and that's right where the game is now, 12.5 points. OKC should bury them. That's what we expect. I make the number just a little bit higher, but as we saw a couple of times already with OKC, up big, just toyed with San Antonio. None of the starters played 30 minutes. Kind of the same with the Clippers. They get that big lead, so they get that big double-digit lead, take their foot off the gas, and I would think more so today because their next game is at Denver Wednesday. So they've already gone to Denver. Remember, they open the season there, and they steal the win from the Nuggets. They go back there on Wednesday. So if there's a little eye there, we'll see. This OKC team is scary. They're coming for blood this year. Don't know if they're coming for blood in this particular game. As I said, they didn't in the San Antonio game. You got a team here you know you can beat. You're up those double digits. You want to give SGA and these guys a couple extra minutes on the bench. So that's what might happen there. Portland Pelicans. Pelicans did us right yesterday. They sat Zion. I believe that was more of a rest day. Expect him to play today, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll wait for the injury news on that. These two teams have met twice already this year. They played a 2-game set in Portland. Pelicans needed a late run to win the first game without covering, and then Portland beat them up the second game. Really short-handed Pelican team. They're on a back-to-back. Is Zion in? Got to have the answer to that question before I can give you that game. Pacers go to Dallas early in the year, and the Pacers are getting beat the fuck up already. Isaiah Jackson, one of their bigs, he's out since the front. Weissman was out since the first game. Isaiah Jackson joins Weissman. They're out. Naismith, he's going to be out. We've got some beat up guys. Indiana's beat up. They're going to go to Dallas. Dallas is back-to-back, but it's no travel, and they cruised yesterday. I believe Luka played 32 minutes. Everybody played less than that. And again, I try to tell you, these back-to-backs are different. If you have a back-to-back Golden State or Houston Saturday night, game goes into overtime, you got to play the next day. That's a tough back-to-back. You got a Nick Piston 30-point beatdown. It's a different kind of back-to-back. You're cruising. So Dallas cruised, no travel, not really a tough back-to-back. They'll get the Pacers. Pacers have been off for 2 days, But again, they're losing some bodies already. We were against the Pacers. Their last time out, we had the Pelicans plus the points at home, and they fall down. That was an obvious fall down spot. They had just beat the Celtics to get their playoff revenge. Let down spot, they get beat again. Can they pick it back up to go to Dallas? Line right now sitting at 4.5. I'm right where that number should be. Toronto at Denver. So these teams just met last week in Toronto. Raptors gave Nuggets a sure-handed Raptor team gives the Nuggets all they can handle. Jaquez now questionable feet makes Kings look even better. Yes, it does. Any idea why John Morant for 25 points plus 170? I don't do props, Brandon, so I can't go into that right at the second. Anyway, getting back to Toronto, Raptors, like you said, just a beat-up squad. They did get R.J. Barrett back, but Barnes is out. Quickly's out. Olenek is yet to play. Well, they go into Denver now. They fought Denver right to overtime. Denver did win that game in OT. So Denver comes home. Easy work with Utah. They're going to be without Jamal Murray, though. And what have they got going on? As I just said, OKC beat the piss out of Denver opening night in Denver, and that's who they play Wednesday. A real look-ahead spot for Denver here. Toronto coming off overtime. Toronto, they beat excuse me, guys. Wow, what a digestion. They beat Sacramento in their last game at home, but had lost 4 straight before that. But they've covered their last 6 games. Great spot for Toronto here. I'll be looking at this spot. This is Toronto or nobody. Just my numbers say Denver should be this big a favorite. But again, I think this is a little bit of a look-ahead spot, a little bit of a revenge spot. So Toronto or nobody. Phoenix. Philly's going to get Paul George back tonight. First game back. Wouldn't expect him to play a lot of minutes. Probably going to ease him back. Embiid still stays out. Beal, questionable for Phoenix. Man, what do you know? They added a point guard, and look how much better this team looks. Said it last year. Why are you getting rid of Chris Paul? Chris Paul's one of the best point guards in history. You don't get rid of Chris Paul for Beal. You got guys that can handle the ball, and Booker and Durant, KD, that got to score the ball. You need the distributor. So you got a real point guard on them. They're looking much better this year. Let's see if they can continue that at home. They get a Philly team that comes in. They've beaten the 76ers and covered them 5 straight times in Phoenix by a combined 57 points, an average of 11.4 points per game. Even with Paul George coming back, don't expect much from Phillies. Looked horrible. We'll see what Paul George could bring, but I want no part of Philly. I was hoping they would overcompensate for PG playing, and that line would go down a little bit and lay Phoenix on the cheap. Our last game, San Antonio at the Clippers. Going to put this post up shortly, right after I post the live. Clippers have beat the Spurs the last 7 meetings, 5-2 against the spread, and the Clippers have won the last 3 in LA. Now remember, the Clippers in a new home, not sharing what used to be the Staples Center with the Lakers anymore. They beat them the last 3 times there by a combined 100 points. So kind of a little bit of an ownership. Clippers, they need a W. 3 straight home losses. OKC and Phoenix, that's one thing. But they lost to Portland as they had to look ahead three games ago. So homestand, 3 straight losses. They lost their opening game at home. 4 straight home losses to open the season in that new $2 billion building. And that's why, if you're a Mass Edge member, I've got them rated slightly better on the road than home. That's why when I talk to you guys about a rating like the Sagarin ratings, so Sagarin will give each team a rating. And then he'll give you a generic number, whatever it might be today, I don't know, 2.8 points, 3.2 points, and give the home team an extra 2.8 or 3.2 points. Yeah, that's the average of all 30 teams. That's not each team. Every team is different. Again, Clippers in a new home have not found their way there. They're better on the road. Miami Heat 18-32 against the spread. Last 50 at home. They're better on the road. The numbers say it. And that's just how it goes. So let's see if the Clips can get a W here. As far as we know, we've got everybody. We've got everybody besides Kawhi Leonard. We know Kawhi Leonard's out. He started the season out. Who knows if they're getting him back? Vassell for San Antonio. He's a big scorer for them. He's been out all season. He hasn't stepped the foot on. But no, other than that, no new injuries. So at this point, guys, I'm going to leave it up to you. If you got any questions, I will be happy to get to them. What do we got, guys? All right, I'm not going to drag on the X anymore, the live anymore. At the end, when I'm done going over the card, I'll open it up to you guys for any questions I want to answer, especially if members have anything about the ratings. I want to explain how we work. Remember, I always tell you, you got guys out here, they just... They say a team, they see the line move, and they say, hey, go bet Sacramento would pick them. I show my work. That's why we're betting ahead of everybody else. 2 big beats in the NBA today, plus 2.5 Sacramento, plus 4 with the Rockets. If nobody else has got anything to say, you guys can join me tomorrow. Do you do college basketball paper route? I do not do college basketball. I do want to bring someone in that does college basketball. I want to hit everything. I want to get a guy like Cheddar Better for you old Instagram guys that follow me here, because I know a lot of you guys like this UFC. I don't know UFC. I only talk about what I'm an expert in. And how could I call myself an expert? Because I beat the fucking piss out of the NBA lines every single day, every single game. Guys, join me here each weekday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Election day is tomorrow, Allie, 100%. But I said, with no games tomorrow, I'm going to go over the entire college board, and I'll show you how the ratings start to change in college at this part of the year. Cheddar is the best at UFC. Cheddar is... Guys, I will talk to guys like Cheddar. I will talk to guys that have knowledge. Not the fucking 99.9% of frauds that are out there. And believe me, that's the number. 99.9% frauds. Have no idea. They watch guys like me. They join a membership like me. They watch the screen. They watch the line move. Then they tell you who to bet after the game has moved 2 points. Okay? Each half a point increases your chance of winning. That's the bottom line. It's all about math at that point. It's not even about the numbers. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Back here tomorrow. And each weekday, 11 a.m. Eastern, the best sports bet information you can get anywhere. Let's make some money.